请的几位伙伴呢，他们透过数位的平台、数位的转型，然后取得很棒的成绩之后呢，他就开始思考，到底要怎么做才能帮助他的伙伴在这样子不断变化的环境里面，可以持续的去成长，持续的去前进哈。所以从去年开始呢，他呢做了非常非常大的转型，然后也在去年帮助他的团队和组织有了很大的成长。现在就让我们一起来听我们23届总裁级品牌大使暨2届创业名人 Buzz 的分享，欢迎
Buzz。Hello, Nu Skin family in Taiwan. Buzz Croner from San Antonio, Texas, in the USA. So glad to be here, glad to be invited. I was asked to speak to y'all and because I have been in the business for decades, and I made a transition to be involved with social media in a big way. A little bit about my background. My wife Maureen and I have been with Nu Skin for just short of 32 years. And in fact, in 1992, I was there at the opening in Taiwan and Taipei and came back again. So I spent several weeks the first time and several weeks the second time, and I loved it there. Loved the people, loved everything about it. So I feel like I'm talking to people that a place I've been, and a lot of times I talk to people around the world, and I've never been to those places, but not here. So let me just tell you quick about myself, and then I'll get into the transition that we made. As I mentioned, we've been involved with Nu Skin for almost 32 years. Prior to that, I spent 19 years in the restaurant business. I was president and CEO and part owner of 18 Wendy's hamburger restaurants in South Texas, and loved it. Built an amazing business over those years. But there was a time where I just felt that I needed to do something else because of the demands of the restaurant business. And I heard about Nu Skin from a friend of mine, a neighbor who was in the pizza business. Tells me about Nu Skin, a business that I can work out of my home, no boss, no employees, no overhead, and be with my family. And it's been an incredible journey. We've been team elites for almost a quarter of a century. So we are so grateful for Nu Skin. We love it. And again, thank you for inviting me. And I'm going to walk you through those steps. So one of the questions is actually, how do you transition? How do you go from what you were doing for all those years and then make the change? I made the change, going on 5 years ago, 4.5 years ago, after being with the company for 25, 26 years. And so was I afraid? Absolutely. I was scared to death because I had never been involved with social media. I was on Facebook, but I still didn't understand the business. But I remember in 2016, at the convention in Salt Lake City, Utah, the two ladies from Europe came over, the stay-at-home millennial moms, and they were on stage talking about it. And I remember sitting next to some of the people more established with the business. We were laughing at them. Not just because we didn't get it. We didn't think you could make enough money selling product on social media. So they brought them back the following year, October of 2016. So it was 15 and 16. And in 2016, I heard how well they were doing, and I couldn't believe it. So right then and there, I said, I'm going to have to figure it out. Listen, I've been successful in business before Nu Skin, and then since then, and I just knew that if they could do it with very little experience in the industry, and I had a quarter of a century, I ought to be able to figure it out. So the first thing I had to do is I had to say why, and that is there a market for this? And I really saw this as the future, and this was going to be setting up a legacy income, a legacy business model that would pay my wife and I, our children and grandchildren for the years to come, because we were going to reach into a younger market. I knew it wasn't going to be me specifically, but I was going to have to learn it so I could teach it, so I could bring that new group in. And it was a really exciting time. And so the first advice I would give is that ask yourself, do you believe that social media is going to be around long term? Check for me. Do I believe that the company is going to grow with it? And it was check, yes, they are. So then I said, okay, then surrender. Surrender to this business model and learn. We have a motto, listen to learn, to get better so that you can teach it and lead it. So it was hard in the beginning because here I was, this well-established team elite, and I was going to have to surrender and learn from people that were much younger, even younger than my daughter. And I was going to have to listen, learn to get better so I could teach it. So that's my advice, is first ask yourself, where do you think social media is going? Do you think it's going to be in the future? Do you think Nu Skin is embracing it? Well, they already have. Is it doing well? Yes. Has it been doing well for more than a year or two? Yes. It's been doing well now for 5, 6, 7 years or more. And then surrender. I mean, just basically open your mind and gather the information and learn. And I'll give you more of those specifics. So here are the steps that we took. And I said it was my wife Maureen and another woman who is grandma age, okay? And I knew it wasn't going to be a gray-haired grandpa and my wife, who's a grandma, and then Jolynn, who had been working together with me for, 10, 12 years, and I'd known her for 25 years. And I knew that she had such a good business mindset that we identified what the market was, and it was different. It was different than what we have done before, at least here in the USA. It was younger people, and it was almost primarily women, 25 to 45-year-old women. Women, whether they were stay-at-home moms, working moms, single moms, married moms, and not necessarily all moms, but the majority of them were moms. And so we just said, okay, if that's what it is, why don't we write down what we're looking for? And here was our list. A woman, 25 to 45, preferably with children. Didn't matter whether she was a president of a company, a doctor, or a stay-at-home mom that hasn't worked before. It didn't matter. What we wanted to do is find out if they were on social media. And if so, were they engaging? In other words, we looked at their likes and their comments. So when they posted, were they actually getting people that liked them, that comment, which meant that they actually didn't have just friends, or add-ons I call them, they had actual friends. They had people that were interested in them, and they were interested in them also. They were interested in each other, I should say. So that changed everything, what we were looking for. And so what we did is that we built a model, and we met them where they were. And I think what we were doing in the past with the other model is come and meet me where I am. What we did is we met them where they were and where they were at the time, and then we built a model around there and made it so simple. And I'll walk you through the next step. Hello. All right. I also get some follow-up questions for more details on referrals and engagement. It really starts with engagement, and that is you have people that on Facebook could have 500 friends or 2,000 friends. And I learned early on that it isn't how many friends they have, it's how much they engage. And how do you know that? When you go to someone's page and you can look at them, and I know everybody wants to look at the number of friends that they have. Oh my gosh, they've got 2,000 or 3,000. That's not the most important thing. It's when they post, how many likes and comments do they get? That means they're connecting, they're already engaging. So what we need to do is teach people how to do that. Is when you do a post, any kind of post, you're going to have to learn to comment on the comments and comment on the likes. Go and respond back, because what you want to do is you want to increase that engagement. Because if I comment on Sally's post, she says, oh my gosh, Buzz is interested, but also the algorithms start changing, and they're saying, oh my gosh, Buzz and Sally, they have things in common, they're social, so let's share more of their information. Okay, so let's get into beyond the engagement, and once we're teaching people how to do that, it may mean we have to work on their presence on social media. Is it interesting? Is it classy? Is it something that people are being drawn into, or is it the opposite? So we have to look at that, and that is, if they don't have a lot of engagement, Is it because of their presence on social media, or is it they're not engaging? So teaching them how to follow up with the likes and comments is critical. But now let's get into referrals. And you'll hear me talk about shout outs. They're the same. We just called it something a little bit different. And we originally called it referral, but we go to shout outs just because a referral means that if you ask me to do a referral for you, that means I have used the product. I tried it, I like it. Well, shout out doesn't mean that. Shout out means you're going to do a favor to me as a friend. So here's how it works. And I'm going to give you an analogy. And this is how we have grown this thing very big. And you can do this slow, medium, or fast. But here is the key to the whole thing. And understand that what we do is we get people to start moving, all right? So I'm going to use the example of Sally. Sally has a pond in her backyard with fish in it. Everybody's got a pond. Now, whether Sally has a pond with 500 fish, 500 friends on Facebook, 2,000 or 4,000, doesn't matter. She's got a pond, and so do all of her friends. So do every one of you. So what I want to do as fast as I can, I want to fish in Sally's pond. I've already fishing in mine, and I'm starting to run out because I've almost contacted all those fish in my pond, okay? So what I want to do is I want to get into Sally's pond. So what I do is I start, it depends on my relationship with her, but let's just say I start liking and commenting. We start building a relationship, and then all of a sudden I'm going to say, either she responded to my product post, my opportunity post, or just a generic engagement, or just a family post that I put up. I'm going to start engaging. Then somewhere along the way, I'm going to ask her if she would do a favor for me, because we are now friends, not just add-ons, but friends. Would you do a favor for me, Sally? It would really help me a lot. Would you do a shout out for me? Well, what is it? Well, as you know, I'm selling this product here. I love it. You know me. You trust me. Would you just do a post? I'll give you the wording. I'll give you the before and after pictures, and it says something like this. Hey, my friend Buzz has a business, and I know him and I trust him. If you're interested in what the product he has, feel free to respond, and he will, in fact, follow up with you. See, she never says she's using it. She just says, my friend. So anyway, she does a post for me, and it goes into her 2,000 friends. I don't know them. Her 2,000 friends, and one of those friends is Jody. Jody has 2,000 friends. So what I'm going to do, I'm either going to go through Sally, if she's interested. If not, I'm going to go to Jody anyway. And I'm going to comment on her post. I'm going to comment on her likes. I'm going to build a relationship. And then I'm going to say, hey, Jody, your friend Sally, introduce us. That's how I know of you. Could you do me a favor? So Jody says yes, and if she hesitates, I'm saying, listen, if you would help me out, if I sell 2 or 3 tubes, whatever that number is, I will give you a free tube. And what to do? Just do a post for me. So now I jumped into Jody's pond. Jody has 2,000 friends, and then I noticed one of her people, let's say her name is Betty. Boom, there's a third pond. So it's 2,000 with Sally, 2,000 with Jody, and now 2,000 with Betty. And it just keeps on growing. At the same time, I'm working on other people in Sally's pond and Jody's pond, plus I'm working on new people over here. So if you look about, all we're doing is leapfrogging from one pond to the other. So what I'm so encouraged about this business, you can do this business slow, you can do it medium, you can do it fast. It's up to you. The key is that there's no limits. Once you figure out how to engage, how to get referrals, shout out posts, and teaching others to do that, you will never run out of people to talk to. Because Betty knows somebody in Australia, who knows somebody in Hong Kong, who knows somebody in Mexico or Argentina. And it just grows like that. So this is the magic of social media, because you can talk to so many more people in such a short period of time. I hope this makes sense. Enjoy the journey, because it is a lot of fun. Thank you so much. Appreciate you.